chains, watch the future glow. Adoption pod, they run the show. Blocks of buildings, truth reveals. Fact, digital world, a brighter field. Yeah, masters learning, wounds are healed. This is the future, the deal is sealed. Locked in, adoption pod, yeah, here we go. Crypto flows, let the knowledge grow. Breaking chains, watch the future glow. Adoption pod, they run the show. Run it. Adoption pod. Adoption pod. Adoption pod.
Yo, welcome to another episode of the Adoption Pod. Episode 43. We're almost there at a year. 52 is going to be 9 episodes away.
Yeah.
We got to do something special. We got to do something special for episode 52. That's actually, I don't know, it's quite an awesome milestone. I'm not going to lie.
Today's 52?
Today is 43. So we're 9 episodes away from 52.
I get it. Well, today's special episode is quite a treat because maybe we'll get into the story a little more, but I have my little brother on the show for the first time ever. This might be his first podcast ever. I'm excited about getting him up here. I hope he's in the waiting room. Is he at least in the waiting room?
He's here. He just showed up.
Stood us up. That would be so Hieronymus of him.
Right? How would that be at like the next family dinner? Awkward.
Yeah, super. I would probably never come to another family dinner, to be honest. So that would be his fault. We've had worse rivalries in the past. I'll tell a story about how I beat him in wrestling for a really long time later, if you guys are interested. What's going on with the market today, dude? You had a killer freaking, excuse my French, short 597 something percent win rate and a percentage win.
94%.
That's nuts. What's going on?
It was 800%, but when I closed the trade, it went to 694 because I think it calculated the percent win after it took out the fees. So when it took out the fees, and I held that trade for over a month. So the funding rate was actually at like $5 or something like that. So
gotcha.
So
it's not horrible.
I'm not complaining. Like it really was just it was a small trade. I used $11 to make $90.
Bro, why did you not go hard on that play?
Because I didn't know. Like I got chopped out 3 times beforehand, so I didn't want to take too much risk. I was already down like $50-$60. So again, I'm being very small in the risk category these days with this account. I'm still trading with that Vanguard account. I've been floating around the same amount for a while. It's been tough. What I am doing though is I'm gonna wait for some consolidation. We're still in a downtrend. 47K still coming. I will put a bigger position in once we get some consolidation after we slow down from this the selling massacre. But honestly, the real money's made at just buying spots in the bear market. I'm just gonna.
I thought you were gonna say the S&P 500 that's up like 700.
Oh god, I am not. I'm staying away from that. Like that's like gonna be like a Bitcoin. It's gonna be like a blow off top at some point.
Do you think all the money will come back to crypto?
Yeah, just a matter of when. A big rotation will come back. I think the SpaceX IPO is gonna just tank the market. Like I think it's just gonna be like that's the end. That's the
and then Anthropic too, right? Like we have a couple big IPOs coming, and then I think we're just gonna realize like everything is fake and a bad word that some people say.
Entered a technical recession.
Wow, we're right behind you, I'm sure. I still haven't gotten my shirt, which is crazy. From you. We'll talk about it offline, but I'm jealous. I just feel jealous.
Really?
Yeah.
And I haven't got my VDEX one. What the heck?
I might have forgot to send yours, though.
I'm going to check the tracking number. You should have got it.
Okay.
Without further ado, let's bring on your brother.
Okay, let's do it.
What's going on, Will?
A very important first question.
Uh-oh.
Holla.
Yo, how's it going, guys?
Good. You can hear us? Everything good?
I do, yeah. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you very well.
Yeah. First question. What a last name. I love it. Can you explain?
Short for hippopotamus, sometimes referred to as Hieronymus, but usually just
it's a sacred one in like ancient Greek times. Probably nothing.
Sacred name, but yeah.
Whatever. Same
Wow,
Will is the guardian of the sacred name, so.
Oh, wow. That is pretty fancy.
Not a big deal.
Yeah. Well, it's good to see you. It's been since Mother's Day since I saw you. So it's nice to see you in person. I'm glad you're taking Wyatt next week. Thank you. Happy to be bringing my son to you for a week so I can have a week to act like a normal adult that just does a job and then maybe has a social life for a little bit. So that'll be a fun pretending week for me. Mike, I actually have a question for you. Which one of us looks younger and older? Who would you guess is the older and the younger? So look at him trying to look younger.
Well, yeah, you got makeup on though. I don't feel like that's
a very good question. It's hard to tell.
Because that would be your grays.
It makes you look older, right? Beers make anybody look older. So
yeah, you got some grays in there for sure.
Yeah.
That's everywhere. I got the landing strip of gray right here. Like
my haircut just like 40 minutes ago. It was worse right here. So
yeah.
Yes.
Honestly, if I changed my beard, I would lose five years off my age.
Yeah. If I didn't use this filter that's on my screen, I would add 5 years to my age. So I guess we're kind of in opposite, but the same boats. No, I am older.
How old are you, Mike?
I just turned 38.
Okay. So we're all in the same era.
Pretty close.
Boomer minus.
Yeah, boomer minus. Mini boomer.
Well, this is exciting. I really want to let Mike run this show because, first of all, he's way smarter at AI stuff than I am. He will ask thoughtful, intelligent questions. Our guest is kind of a diva for his first podcast. His request, he said he would prefer. My preference is I just give a 90-minute lecture with no interruption. So I don't know how flexible you are with that, Mike, but this is your show. Don't let him run you over. You guys start tackling the AI topic. Maybe we start with an intro from Will before you gather some questions. And also don't forget to leave out about the part where I drug you into NFTs and how you have 1 million Super Yetis and Pirates of the Metaverse.
Actually, I only have 2 Super Yetis, I think.
I don't love you anymore.
I've got lots of pirates though.
Who roped who into what?
It was me. It was all me.
Yeah, I liked the pirates though from the beginning. They could have done better. And honestly, if it wasn't for Gary V's brother launched that stupid coin that right in the middle of our pump.
Vayner Sports
from
coin.
Like 0.03 up to 0.18 and it was just going and then like gas stalled out. Or gas was like insanely expensive. Like,
I remember those times, the good old gas fees.
And then it took us out for like 2 hours, and then all the hype was gone after that, and then never picked it back up. Could have gone up to could have been rich. You've been rich already,
bro. I got so many woulda, coulda, shouldas in crypto. I've been here for 8 years.
Not in crypto.
Looking back, I'm like, I could have been a multimillionaire. I was buying Bitcoin at $3,000.
Yeah,
I didn't know nothing. I knew nothing at that point.
All right, well, Will, tell us your story. How did you start it? How you actually got into coding? Because I think that your non-traditional path. Sorry, I'm not speaking very close. Your path was quite interesting. So start us from the beginning and just walk us through how you got to being on a podcast with your big sister, who you taught about tech a few short 10 years ago, and got me into the industry as well.
Sure. So. No, I kind of got lucky when I was like 23. I was like selling cell phones and stuff. And then I wanted an office job. So I landed a job at this company called Eagleview. It was a startup, but it had no business like going anywhere. We measured rooftops. I think the ad that I responded to on Craigslist said something like, "Do you like video game controllers? Well, why don't you join?" It was like 3 sentences long. And they used to use like an Xbox controller to measure the rooftops, and I was like the 5th employee there. I measured the rooftops good, so I became like quality engineer, and then I went to the Philippines to train people how to do it out there. I was at that company for 7 years and kind of transitioned from like the operation side to help out with projects and stuff. And CEO would ask for help with new image providers, things like that. That got me more on the tech, like kind of a project or product manager. And then at that point, I was cocky when I was younger, so I had a bad relationship with the development manager, and he always said that I wasn't technical enough. And that pissed me off. So I just became a developer after that. So when I left Seattle and moved to Charlotte, I spent like 2 or 3 years just like going hard, studying books, watching YouTube videos, doing like online boot camps. I didn't take any classes. I took some like JavaScript classes in college, like long ago back in Bellevue College, like maybe 2 or 3 different classes over the course of 2 or 3 years. But yeah, pretty much just learned by doing and just get my hands dirty. And then, I was making like $45,000 a year at a like roofing company, like helping them with their roof measurements and stuff. But really, I was just learning how to code. I was just like writing a website for them and like connecting their different pieces. And from that, I got my first real software engineering job with like a San Francisco like startup company. When he like called and told me the offer, I was just like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, I can imagine.
was
Tech
like-
is just insane when it comes
Yeah, it was
to.
like 2.5 times what I was making. So yeah, it was great. And the rest is history. So
That's crazy. So are you like being, a developer now, are you like into crypto? Like I feel like those two worlds kind of converge. Like if you feel like you would understand it at a more fundamental level than even just the average, degen.
yeah. Yeah, I do. And I don't know. And I mean, I see a lot of the degen. I like being a degen sometimes, I got to be in the mood for it. But yeah, no, those days were great. But yeah, I just saw, I mean, just what you saw with like all the NFT projects and stuff. It's just a bunch of smoke and mirrors. Everyone was just, I don't know. I just kind of got burnt out on that pretty early, and I didn't think there was enough substance. And yeah, the whole idea that, just anyone can make a project and they'll just add more and more. Like, yeah, you have to have some kind of special sauce to be around something, and trying to pick and choose who the winners are, and then, getting on one wagon and off the wagon, just constantly playing that game. I grew a little tired of it. But yes, to answer your question, like, yeah, I could like read the blockchain and like, inspect transactions and stuff. Feel like I picked some of that stuff up quicker than some.
Yeah, it's
never inspect my blockchain.
So I come into the space with like an investor mindset. That's why I don't mess around with too much altcoins. Just because I have a hard time understanding what makes them valuable. Except for like the big blue chips. The big blue chips have user base, they have users, they have fee generations, which is basically a revenue stream. So I look at altcoins and I evaluate them as like I would evaluate a company. What's your debt? How many users do you have? Are you growing your revenue year over year? And all that kind of stuff like that. Because that tells me you got something, really good here. Like for example, for VDEX, VDEX is over $5 billion in volume. People are actually using it in a time where people disappear from the space, especially some days like today where you go from like 70 something K down to 67.
Yeah, what all happened today? Someone sold some.
This was a long time coming. We're in a downtrend. It's Michael Saylor sold, which he said he would never sell. He told everybody he never sells Bitcoin, and now he's let his hands. So it's there's no really reason for it. We were in a downtrend. It was a matter of time, in my opinion. There's no what's the word, midterm year that Bitcoin has done well in. It's pretty normal for the trend. But when it comes to AI, this is where like my mind goes with crypto, the upgrading of the financial rails with like the Genius Act and stable coins kind of becoming the new medium of exchange digitally online. Now you can deploy AI agents like crazy, a swarm of them. So before you had some sweaty nerd in his basement trying to hack your accounts and stuff like that, but now this sweaty nerd can can now deploy like 1,000 agents that work 24/7 trying to crack your 2FA. And this is where I think blockchain technology is actually going to be the solution to security. When you're upgrading the financial system, you need also a technology that's a little bit more safe and secure. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on if my thesis is kind of along those same lines, or do you think there's just something else that's gonna help with all the new avenues of hacking?
Yeah. I mean, it certainly opens up new vectors, or just, I mean, it makes every kind of hacking easier to hack. But then hacking, the white hat versus black hat, it's always just kind of a game of cat and mouse. Like there's a new vulnerability exposed, and then the white hats clean it up, and then hackers find something new, and that's just kind of the way it goes. And the thing about like the AI foot race is like, the white hats, they're locking in things more. It's a lot easier to like do like penetration testing and identifying vulnerabilities and just like fixing vulnerabilities that felt too small to like even tackle, especially as like a smaller startup or something. So everyone's elevated. So it's hard to say that. And now that being said, my Twitter account was hacked apparently. I'm guessing that because I know that I got emails about my password being in like a hack or something, and I use the same password for everything. So that's how I assume my account got hacked.
Wow, you were a security engineer at Wells Fargo Bank, and all of your passwords were the same. Can you explain that logic?
Actually, all of my passwords are still mostly the same, but I've got like 8 or 10 different variations, and I'll just like try 6 or 8 of them until I give up. And then
how many password attempts do I have? That's exactly how many different variations I have.
Yeah. And then I'll just change the password again. Like I'll just add a new flavor. I added a Z to one recently. That's the first time I've tried that. So.
Okay, hackers, that's your first clue. Z.
Last letter Z.
Can I get a vowel? But yeah, so yeah, I think it's that's kind of the same idea. I've always thought the same. I know that one of the topics is in crypto is quantum being able to hack Bitcoin and all that. But like my whole argument was like, well, if someone gets quantum, the computers, the ASIC miners that are, securing the network will also have quantum chips. And you're kind of like, it's the same idea. Like nobody really gets that far ahead. It's a little edge and then you fix it up, and then a little edge and then they come back. Like it's this back and forth race, and nobody's really getting, one more leg up than the other. Not to mention quantum requires a crap ton of electricity. And to be able to hack, like, for example, I'm going to use Bitcoin because I'm kind of a maxi. When it comes to Bitcoin, biggest computer network in the world. Google, Facebook, and Amazon together don't even combine to the.
Stop shilling your bags.
I didn't actually know that.
So that the compute power of the Bitcoin network is higher than all 3 of those combined, and then some.
I mean, it makes sense, but yeah, I figure like what percentage of the world is like mining Bitcoin then?
It's all over the world, right?
Yeah.
Like,
no, I'm just saying, like, yeah, if you had to drill it down to like an actual percentage, like, is it like?
Oh, I can look at what countries have. Like, I know the U.S. has the highest percentage. China's pretty close thereafter. Right. Canada's got a good chunk of that as well. Not so much in Europe because their hydro is really, really expensive. So it's going to be basically any country that has really favorable electricity rates.
Yeah.
Yeah. Will actually hates crypto. No, I kind of ruined it for him.
No, it's just I just think of it as gambling. So,
and but what is it?
That's also me with investing in stocks. So it's not just crypto. It's just like I get into it too deep, and then I'm like, oh, I better stop before I.
Yeah.
You know what?
I
used to argue against people when they say, "Oh, it's just gambling," but I'm like, I really did some like inward thinking, and everything's gambling.
I'm not saying everyone's a gambler. I'm saying when I do it, I'm a gambler. I'm taking risk. I'm trying to like 10x. I'm not messing around with like a slow like 10% gain per year. I'm trying to like get that money.
Tire the bloodline.
I got you. So like I agree. Everything is gambling. Like I used to say, oh no, it's not gambling. It's no, it is gambling. Everything is risk. And the
Yeah.
only difference that keeps you in the game is just having risk management, right? Like,
Right.
and that's how I like again, I'm doing trading, same idea. It's just about being able to do it long enough and control what you lose so you can stay in the game and try again, right? When you
Yeah.
get wiped out, you gotta solve it. If you lose, like if you lose your get liquidated in your position, for example, you gotta make 100% just to break even, right? You
Right.
need 200% to make back what you lost.
It's
So
wild that I still am such a degenerate trader after a year of like weekly getting hammered on good
Yeah,
trading and
I
like
keep
portfolio
waiting for you to
management.
just come to me one day and be like, "Will, I really messed up. I need like $10,000."
Do you want to send me 10K? Because
No,
that'd be
no,
really cool.
I don't.
Bitcoin
I don't have that.
super
Yeah, no.
low. Oh. I would love
Um,
to buy the dip. But I
yeah.
do. I want to pivot to what you're doing now because I haven't even heard about your new job.
Well,
So
hold
you did
on.
a brief stint. Okay.
Oh, sorry, real
We
quick
do this.
before that thought, because I like what you
10K
said.
is cool though.
Like when you said everything is gambling, right? Like even what I'm doing, like there's an element of like opportunity cost to it, and like just having like a stable gig, like it's nice, but yeah, like I'm not on the cutting edge necessarily all the time. Now at Fiddler, I finally do feel like I'm on the cutting edge. Like I really am working on stuff that, yeah, trying to figure out the same problems that most of the industry is right now. So that's fun. And then just working with AI all the time. Yeah. Getting not unlimited tokens, but plenty of tokens to like go and do my experiments. That's fun. But
that's the fun about it. Just go out and play.
I just feel like I'm playing all the time. Also, I don't actually do my job. Don't tell anyone at Fiddler.
You literally just said it on the stream.
Yeah, no, I know. But I also, I already told my coworkers this. I was like, yeah, I've been there for 3 weeks and I've literally just been working on this like side project. But like it's relevant to everything we're doing. I'm kind of rebuilding what we've done for observability just so I can understand it. But I'm getting, you get sidetracked. It's so easy to go and build something. You're like, oh, I'll just
Give
build
me
that.
some
Real quick. I'll just add
context
that
first.
on.
What are you supposed to be doing while you're at work? What is this company about? Why do you guys stand a chance against Claude? I'm a Claude maxi.
Yeah,
you have to win me over if I'm.
No, we use Claude. Claude's a friend, not an enemy. Actually, most of the devs, I think, prefer Claude over anything else. I don't. I kind of like ChatGPT, but I've been using Claude the last 2 days, especially with 4.8, and it does feel better. But yeah. So what does Fiddler do? Fiddler does observability and evaluations. And what does that mean? So observability is pretty standard throughout like technology industry. So like companies like Datadog or Grafana, like anytime you have, or Google, Amazon CloudWatch, everything. It's just ingesting all of the logs and things from all your different applications and servers, making sure nothing's breaking, having a history of everything that happened, being able to go debug things like that. But this is with a focus on AI. And so Fiddler came in the game like in 2018 or 2019. They were primarily an ML shop. So they were doing this kind of stuff like before.
What's an ML?
Machine learning. And like the machine learning algorithms at the time, I used to say like it's never going to get any better because all they can do is just, I don't know if you guys seen like Silicon Valley, like they do hot dog, not hot dog. But that's all they were doing. They can just like do one thing really well.
Okay, yeah.
And it wasn't multi-dimensional. And so when ChatGPT came out, I was like, oh, okay, I was completely wrong about that. Apparently they can do all sorts of crazy shit.
Yeah,
but
I've seen what was it? NVIDIA, they're like making they're training robots, but in a virtual like reality. So it's not the actual robot doing it. So the robot will learn in like virtual reality how to do the motion or whatever they're going to be programmed to do. Right. And then when the machine actually does it, they already have all that knowledge from all the simulations, and then boom, they go and do the task.
That's interesting. So it would just be like different containers. So it'd be like if I trained how to do something in a car, and then I trained to do something in like a four-wheeler, Like they're similar interfaces, but they're not exactly the same, right?
Mhm,
So,
mhm.
but a lot of it is going to obviously transfer over, but not everything.
So, I don't know if you've watched The Matrix.
It's
When
been a
can I
lot,
when
but
can
yeah.
I just download like how to, I don't know, do kung fu or fly a helicopter? When can that happen?
Yeah, that could be something to do with like, yeah, with like the stuff that Elon's doing with Neuralink and stuff. I don't just the other day I recently cooled on the idea that you could actually like download someone's memories. At least anytime soon. I don't know.
There goes home videos. The new home videos.
Yeah.
Just plug this into your brain.
I mean, you can, yeah, I think you can download data, but like or downloading like a consciousness, something like that. I think that's possible.
See,
I
I
do
don't think that's consciousness. I think that's a copy of you. That's a copy and paste kind of thing.
Right, but if it was an exact copy paste, like wouldn't the conscious like would just even if it's not the exact
right?
same?
Well, that asks what makes you you? What makes you
Yeah,
the
yeah.
original?
Actually,
you know what I mean?
I actually
What is
the other day, as I was in the last.
Is there ever any original idea, period? We're all iterating and building on top of things that came before. What makes me
that's
me
exactly right.
is a foundation of all that came before me. Sorry,
Right.
I just want to put that out there.
But no, but it is actually completely uniquely new. Like you've never been done before, and you create a new chain that interacts with other stuff, so it will also create new stuff. Now AI is kind of the opposite because actually, yeah. Okay, so AI, as I don't know how much you guys actually know about like the nuts and bolts. I'm sure you've heard something about like it's kind of it's guessing the next most common word. So I write a prompt like, what is the capital of France? And then it looks at all the word, like it trains on all this data. And of all the times it's ever seen the words, what is the capital of France? Paris is usually the word, maybe it's a 99.
Oh, it's like the most common answer.
Yeah, yeah. And so, I mean, that's a pretty simple example. And so you just
so it's basically like its consensus model. It's how it comes to consensus through how many times it's been.
I don't know enough about consensus, but I wouldn't be terribly shocked if it was something similar. But so essentially, like they build this model, and the model just starts from like really small samples like that, and over time it grows, and then over time it gets giant. And you just feed it all this data from all over the internet, and all that data gets fed in. So it gets embedded, and when they say embedded, that just means they're turning it into like numbers that represent like distances from other words. So it's just like you have like this giant vector / like like axis. I forget they call it like a tensor or something else, but it's basically it's like a 4 or 5 or 6 dimensional like array, but like some of the dimensions are like millions of lines wrong or like elements long. So like if you calculate it like like 29,000 times 18,000 times a million times whatever, like that number gets really big. That's where the 29 billion parameter inputs or whatever comes in. But all that is just like it's just data. So it's like a sentence or a book that turns into numbers that represent like distances between other words, and then that gets fed into this model. And so like you think of this model like this is all it is. It's like a map. It's like a globe where each point on the globe is like another word, and you can see how far it is from certain words.
Okay, I understand.
And so when you are, and then all the LLM is, or like the actual inference part where it's like choosing the next word, it's just running a calculation to see, and it's just giving you probabilities. So there's usually not a word that's like 100% all the time, but there might be like 20 or 30 words, that are like 30-20%. And then I don't know if you guys are familiar with like the temperature on a model, like you can turn up the temperature. The temperature is 0, you're actually, in theory, you're always going to get the same response back. Like, so if I say, what is the capital of Paris? Also, what is, whatever, that exact sentence should always get the exact sentence back. Now, if you turn the temperature up to 70 or 80 or 100, that's adding the randomization. So if you have like a probability of the next word's Paris 80% of the time, the next word's Tokyo 10% of the time, next word's, then
Okay.
all of a sudden when you're up at like 80, every once in a while you're going to see Tokyo pop into that word.
That's kind of like when I do so I use Suno. I do a lot of like AI music, and there's a thing that you can bring up or down, which is called weirdness. So it'll start to deviate and kind of like do some random stuff, and you could get a cool, unique result, right? Through the weirdness, right? It'll take your style prompt and kind of mess around with some elements and that you probably wouldn't normally hear. It could totally screw the song up, which it mostly does if you go too hard. But
I do that all the time, just with prompts in general. I'm like, okay, I don't really know what those words or like what this concept is, but it sounds vaguely right, so I'm going to go with it. And then if it's wrong, or
it's like the oracles in the days of Greek mysticism, but this is like a decentralized oracle.
Yeah.
Like,
okay, I'm gonna blow your guys' mind some more a little bit. Just back on that train of thought. Okay, so we have the map, right? And so so now in that instance where we did, so I enter the sentence and we get Paris, Paris, Paris. Every once in a while we get Tokyo. Now Tokyo is a new word in that. The capital of France is Tokyo. Now you're starting to go down a new path, right? And you're always just kind of going down the path of least resistance, and you can turn up the randomness or not, right? And but essentially it's a calculator. Like, you have input, your input is the text, whatever question or context that you want to pass in. When I say context, just like, okay, read this web article or read this book, and then this is my question about the book. It's all just, you call it the prompt, the user prompt, system prompt, whatever. It's one long string of all those words. That is your prompt. And then the model is that word calculator, that all it does is give you the next most common word. And then like if you have the temperature turned up, then it's going to give you a random word more frequently. If you have the temperature way low, then it's, in theory, it's deterministic. There's a few more things that go into that, so it's not. People say,
if you turn the temperature up, aren't you getting less accurate results then?
So it's kind of like, so you use it based on use case. Like, if I'm brainstorming, I want some kind of raised.
Oh, okay, yeah, that I get, yeah.
Popped in, but yeah, if I want to, there's not a ton of cases where I want to go like temperature 0 either, unless I purposely want to like kind of limit if I'm trying to get something tested. Or
can the average user on Claude do that? Is that, I mean, we're also streaming on Facebook, by the way, so your mutuals can see. And this is, I have found that the Facebook people love this AI talk, and especially when it's broken down in this way. Is that something the average user can use, so they understand, hey, I'm using this in essentially creative mode because I'm creating something, in a more factual mode if they're doing more precise calculations, or you just get what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, great question. The short answer, yes. I think I'm about 90% sure, at least this is the way it worked for a while, at least on ChatGPT. You can just say like your prompt and then say temperature 70 or whatever, and then it's kind of smart enough to recognize that, oh, temperature, that in this context that means now. And then like on Google Gemini, there's actually, like, if you go to like the side panel, there's a drop down for like temperature, so you can just select it. And then, so some UIs have the options, others don't. Some models will recognize it if you pass it. And then, so depending on, at the end of the day, whether you're working with ChatGPT, Claude Code, Codex, agentic workflow, whatever it is, at the end of the day, all it is it's a text or a question or prompt passed into this word calculator, like the globe with the locations, the word locations. Another way to,
after you're done, I want to hear more about observability and what that actually means, because you started down that pathway and you named some references, but like to the average, you're talking to Facebook people too, and then just really crypto Twitter, we're all a bunch of idiots in the big scheme of things. So what does observability mean, and what companies would use that? I saw some pretty big names on the website, AIG, a few other notable companies. What do you guys actually do for companies? So finish your thought, and then I want to have more.
I already lost the thought because you're
welcome. That's what I'm here for.
Well, answer your stupid question.
I'm gonna let you finish.
Yeah. After my monologue question, you can finish your. Here we go.
Yeah. So I mean, observability, like, so yeah, and of course, yeah, our customers are like AIG, Ally Bank, a lot of finance and like regulated industry. So I mean, they need auditability. So they need to be able to go in and see why a certain decision was made, what model was called, what the answer was, what text was passed in, what the user asked, what context, if they read a file or something. Which, and like within the model, you could see things even like, what temperature was used, what, I don't know if you've seen like reasoning. I think you see it in like Claude. I don't know. What models do you guys use? What are you guys' preferences?
There's Claude.
She's probably a little bit more advanced than me in that sense. I use ChatGPT, mostly the LLM. I use it like, for example, like when I make AI music, I will actually go to ChatGPT to make all my prompts for Suno. It's been way better because I can tell.
My dog is whining to go inside, so I'm just gonna let her in. But I'm right here.
What a whiner! They're so cute, though. I wish she could come on the show.
My dog was literally whining before the show started too.
Yeah, animals are the best, man.
They are.
Yeah, that's funny. I don't know if there's really much I guess qualitative or like actual quantitative data to back up my thought here, but like I use different models for different things, and I'm pretty sure it's just because that's the first time I ever tried something was with that model, so I'm like most familiar with how it works.
That's for me. ChatGPT is what I'm most familiar with because it was the first one that I ever used.
I use ChatGPT the most as well.
Yeah, and actually that and Grok. I've been using Grok because like it's literally in my car. I drive a Model 3, so it's in my car. I use X. I'm on X all the damn time. So between the two, I kind of use Grok more for if I want to make images or art or a little clip or animate like a previous image. I do it with like a lot of the creative side. I use ChatGPT almost always just for like an LLM. Actually, today at work was actually funny. So I'm a union worker. And I had some discrepancies with my company and and some curious things in the contract. So I took my contract and what I was questioning, and I
do this. I did it with my HOA. I'm trying to file.
So I took a picture of it. So we had some recent changes at work, and they amended our contract temporarily. So I put the original, I put the amendment, and I asked to say explain in simple language because they always put it in legalese. I say in simple language, explain to me the differences and here's my story, here's my problem, here's my issue. Am I in the wrong? Is the company in the wrong? And it spits it out and it gives you detail by detail. It breaks down the language, and I'm right, by the way.
So did you send it to them? Did you say ChatGPT said?
I'm waiting for the response. So my boss is like, he just doesn't want to deal with it anymore. So just talk to your union rep. So I've talked to the union rep, and now he's got to go figure it out. And it's like,
you have it draft the emails.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, no, I went through this. So when I was at Wells Fargo, so it's interesting. So Wells Fargo is like basically a target customer of Fiddlers. Getting back to observability and stuff, but and I probably shouldn't say that much, but technology inside these large, like risk averse companies is just impossible. Like there's so many layers of bureaucracy, so many teams fighting with the same thing. Like the decisions that were made a year ago that are clearly wrong and have been wrong for 9 months just keep getting pushed forward because they have no ability. Like someone's tied to it, someone's career's tied to it. So they just And I mean, that's just touching this. I wrote a whole manifesto about this last night.
Can I see it? Can you post it on Twitter? I want to share that to the
Yeah, no, actually, I just passed it to ChatGPT and I said, here, do something with this. And so my company is really big on this whole idea of like the agent control plane, which is, yeah, just so say I'm a bank and like what's the scariest part about like letting, all my employees use ChatGPT or, Claude Code or something? First, cost. Are they going to be doing dangerous stuff? Are they going to be letting out, are they going to get hacked with like some context injection? Or, how can I keep everyone safe? Like, how can I keep us from downloading some virus? Because, I mean, banks are locked down, like permissions, like, so one tool that I've used at every company I've ever worked for is Docker, and we build Docker images and just makes working with, applications and like spinning it up on your machine, my machine, and they all exactly the same. We build a Docker image. Yeah, the bank, we can't install Docker, and there's no way to build an image locally. So it takes 45 minutes to run it in the CI pipeline. And then you're like investigating the notes, which there's like, I don't know, like 10,000 logs. And then you finally find it and it just says the image failed to build. And
Can't
then you go.
ChatGPT just find that though now?
Nope. I mean, I was using, so yeah, and the banks were locked down. So I only had certain tools. So I was using GitHub Copilot, and GitHub Copilot can see the logs because like the logs are in GitHub. It's GitHub CI pipeline. And it's telling me things. So I'm like, no, that's not it. And then we find, the line that's it's like another container outside of anything that I have access to. So I can't view the logs to see what failed on the build. And, so I beat my head. I look at the documentation and stuff. I find some documentation in Confluence, which it's just a bunch of teams writing about these problems and then having like so many different versions. That's not helpful.
It sounds so easy, by the way.
Yeah.
So well, it is easy. Also, I will say this: when I was at Wells Fargo, I was there for 5 months. So like 20 weeks. I did 1.5 weeks worth of work.
Wow.
I was just like, well, I was also interviewing the whole time. I knew I wasn't saying it wasn't.
So when it comes to security, like my wife's company is kind of the same idea. She works in medical communications, and I keep telling her, like, man, like AI can just replace like half your staff. Like they can do so much of your grunt work can be automated, but they just won't do it because it's a security thing. They send NDAs and stuff like that, and they can't put certain things on. So like, and I assume a lot of companies are going to be this way, especially like banks, like you were mentioning. So how do these I feel like eventually everyone's going to be using AI, but where does AI need to get to, like in a security standpoint, where these companies are more likely to accept this into their system? Like, is it like, do they have to have local machines there with everything stored on site instead of being in the cloud?
I mean, so you can get like on-prem solutions for like the various models and stuff. I'm pretty sure like that's the way it's been explained to me. Otherwise, I'm like, you're just trusting ChatGPT that they're not gonna accidentally, use any of this, any of our code base, because like that's our proprietary. But yeah, even the bank, was using like GitHub. They host their stuff in GitHub, but it's all
fake money.
So they trust. There's a level of trust there, and typically the way it will work with a lot of companies like this is it'll be on-prem. So basically you'll just run their code on your own servers. So it's the same application. It's just instead of the application running on in their infrastructure, that would be like a SaaS company or like like a Salesforce or Jira. You're running in their infrastructure, which is probably just Google's infrastructure, Amazon's infrastructure,
or AWS. Yeah. So basically, the same thing. The same thing the internet works on now.
Who owns the computers, or who are you leasing the computers? Or am I leasing those computers? If I'm leasing the computers from Amazon, it is considered on-prem.
Have you seen NVIDIA's new idea? They want to put so it's a little box at your house. So they'll put a little box with a bunch of Blackwell chips. It basically goes beside your like air conditioning machine. They'll come and install it and everything and get it all set up. They'll pay for your utility bills, like your electrical bills and all that. You just got to pay $150 a month flat rate. And that's how they're going to decentralize and have like houses have compute all part of the main server to grow this AI build.
Me doing the math in my head, like how much?
What is this? They drop a box off and it's got some what?
So it's a seal, like a contained unit, and in the unit is basically the new Blackwell chips.
Right.
So they basically want to get chips in around the households to basically have a data center spread across the city, for example, right? They'll pay for, and they'll paying for your hydro, your electrical bill and all that, and you have to pay $150 flat fee to be in the program a month. So they're saying that you can save up that a certain amount of money per year if you do this, right? So that's kind of the incentive to the homeowner, and then they also get bigger data centers.
Those are that usage is being it's not your computer; it just lives at your house. They're like renting space at your house, basically.
It's like renting a water heater.
But then they also give you some benefit of it, right?
Yeah. I feel like people.
My electricity bill's like $300, so I don't think I would take $150 to save $150 to have a box.
$300? Are you mining right now? What the heck?
No, dude. I got kids everywhere, and we're not
in an older house, and it's bigger. Yeah. So
1987
downstairs. Yeah.
Oh, you got baseboard heaters.
My kids leave the doors open all the time. We lose the animals.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy. Well, I don't know. Every state, I know a lot after COVID, the electrical rates went up like crazy across the U.S. It depends on what. We have nuclear power here, that's why we're pretty affordable. And some I actually just bought two Dogecoin miners being hosted in Indiana. They got a 8.5 cent kilowatt hour rate, so even better than what
you say you're renting them from Indiana.
I own them. I bought them, and they're being hosted. So they have a facility for miners, and they're hosting it. So I just pay the electrical fee on that, and they're hosted there instead of having an airplane behind me.
Can you actually log into the machines and verify what's going on? I don't even know.
So I connect the machine. So when they set it up, I set up my username, whatever, to a mining pool.
Yeah.
And then they just set it up with the account, and the account I have my password and everything for my account. They don't have that.
Yeah.
They'll just set it up with my username. So and then my wallet's already attached to my account, so it'll just get sent to my wallet.
How much does something like that cost to buy one of those?
So I bought two miners. They were about $3,600 each, US, and they pump out about $500 something a month in revenue. But after your electrical costs and everything like that, right now Dogecoin, it mines Dogecoin and Litecoin at the same time, so you are getting up, I think, about $100 US after you pay the bill, the electrical cost. I use it as a tax strategy. Bitcoin mining is like owning a rental property. You get the same taxable benefits. You can depreciate the value of the actual miner, and then the actual cost to host every month is also tax deductible. So you keep a little bit more of your earned income from your 9-to-5 job. So that's how I use it to buy more Bitcoin.
And you pay off your loan in 3 years. So
exactly. So what I did last time, I bought 10 Bitcoin miners. I spent $100,000, bought 10 Bitcoin miners. And then I every year I was getting credits back on my taxes, which I just bought more Bitcoin. And then when we had this bull run, I paid off the loans and then kept my profits, right? And that's what I'm going to use to reinvest in this bull market or this.
Like my dad with stocks.
I am the boomer of investing with risk management,
No, my dad took out a HELOC right before this raging bull market. My dad's actually pretty good.
That's what I did. He got hacked from his Coinbase account for $9,000.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And
he called me. He called me 5 minutes after he gave this random person. I guess he thought it was Coinbase. Yeah, but after and right after he's like, "Oh crap, I don't think I should have done that." And
he bought Nvidia at 192. I don't feel too horrible for him. I think he's doing okay.
Dude, I took a HELOC to buy those miners. And then we proceeded to have 40-year highest interest rates ever. So that was fun.
After you bought them, though.
So
here's the HELOC. Is that like a variable
home equity line of credit? So I would say it's variable. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So what happened is 2022 happened. FTX collapsed. I bought those miners. The company that owned the mining site went bankrupt. So my miners didn't go online for 9 months until somebody else bought out that company and then took all the miners, and then finally got online 9 months later, missed out on a whole Bitcoin of mining, because as more miners come on, the hash rate goes up and you make less and less and less in yield, right?
Yeah.
And then interest rates just every month up, like going up. Like I think we peaked at like 8%, and I took my loan at 5%, so it went up 3% from when I initially bought it. So 2022 was me and my wife literally paycheck in, paycheck out, just to keep all the expenses like paid for. But it turned out in the end, it worked out because Bitcoin went to an all-time high.
Oh, okay.
Gambler, you gambler, you.
Oh, absolutely. I am. It's so weird because like I'll be so responsible in trading, but in with this kind of stuff, it's just understanding when to get in. Like you have to take risk in life, or what's that saying? Scared money don't make no money, and it's true. You have to learn when to allocate and when not to. Right? Let's, like Warren Buffett, you got to know when something's on sale.
Yeah. Well, let's get back to AI. We don't get a lot of AI guests, so I think this is special. So tell me how, like,
it is very special.
It is very special. My brother's bio says, "Are the agents in the room with us right now?" I thought that was pretty
I
adorable.
just came up with that earlier too. At the same time, I came up with Will Hippo and Will Hyro.
You should drop your handle in the link so the listeners can follow you too, and I'll do some tweets. I didn't have.
Wait, this app, does it just like post out to everything, or like?
I think so.
Or does it,
I don't really. I'm not the tech person, so.
Well, yeah.
On StreamYards is streaming to YouTube, X, Arena, Facebook, and Mikkel's X. And I don't know. Do you have your LinkedIn on right now?
I have Facebook on right now.
Yeah, Facebook. Okay,
I want it.
So just Facebook. So
Aunt Debbie really likes to watch this show.
Aunt Debbie,
so this is probably a special treat.
Debbie's my favorite. I love her.
I know. She's like, I'm starting to learn. Like it's actually
Debbie's such an aunt name though. Like that's like the perfect aunt name.
I know. It's almost a little Karen-ish.
I don't know.
Like,
I was joking. But.
Oh, it's mom's. It's Uncle Mike's old wife.
Our. Oh yeah. Aunt, I call her Aunt Debbie.
Yeah.
The traditional.
What did I call her? Whatever.
Yeah. They are.
I haven't seen her in a long time.
Oh, well, that's awesome.
Yeah, they live in Idaho, and Cammie, cousin Cammie watches it sometimes. So, I thought I'd put you up on there. Sometimes I do LinkedIn instead.
No, I like Facebook. My friends are on there too. So if anyone's interested,
you can retweet on there also.
I could. I don't think I can retweet on Facebook, but I mean,
share. It's called sharing.
I just doom scroll Facebook Marketplace. It's like my guilty pleasure.
Okay, so Will, explain to me again. Okay, so I know you work with banks and do all these things. Are you guys interested in crypto infrastructure? Like I work for a dark pool perp dex with ZK State channels.
I don't know what half that means. Dark pool. I don't. It sounds
privacy.
Black hat.
No, it's not, dude.
Well, it
no
sounds
way.
like it. Well, I'm just saying from like
we're a little. So what's interesting is I just read.
Oh, little gray hat. Why do you call yourself dark pool if it's? That just sounds like dark.
So it's
money.
like privacy on chain. So it's like how your money people can't see money coming in and out of the bank, right? Like that's your private information.
It's like tornado, whatever.
Yeah, so it's like people just can't. You keep the cryptographic proof on your phone. They're peer-to-peer transactions with no gas, no VPN, no KYC. I'm not going to give you a big sales pitch, but I did read that Google had made significant advancements in quantum and hid it for a year by keeping it behind ZK technology, zero knowledge technology.
Yeah.
So imagine crypto dexes. There's all these transactions. There's, we own in our example, our entire tech stack. How would that apply? Because we have like today, we had some issues with like liquidations that occurred that should not have occurred. The price never touched that point. This is all, we're in beta. It's a new technology. We're a new kind of primitive. How would your company come in and help us identify and solve problems? Like I'm trying to apply this to
so
the relevant audience.
Frankly, your company isn't big enough. I mean, people that want observability.
Oh, rude.
Well, I mean, you probably at least have 50 people using LLMs in some fashion, and you want it tracked. You want to see how many tokens they're using. You want to see, if they're doing anything bad. You want to identify best practices. you know.
My
Or
boss
you
would
can-
probably want to do that early, to tell you the
Yeah.
truth. He is so like
Like, are we
get
talking
ahead of
about
it.
within the employees? Or are you talking about tracking what the users are doing?
Both actually. If you're if the yeah if because it kind of depends. It depends how your app is set up, because you might have an app that's set up to use their own model. You know what I mean? And or you might have an app that, or sorry, you might have like a chat bot. Typically, if you have a chat bot, it's going to be using your users interacting with it are going to be using your model because you want that control. But yeah, there's some other plug and play stuff. But yeah,
How does that
typically,
information help businesses?
I mean, I find like I read logs right now. So what I do with the logs is I'm finding out. So my problem with LLMs, less so like the Chat GPT, like I'm most comfortable, like, in the Chat GPT web UI, is the coding agents. And the coding agents, I feel like, are largely built for the vibe coders who just write to oh, I'm starting 50 agents and they're going to be building all these things. And they have specific instructions on like to keep going. Like once they think they're done, like their instructions. And again, the instructions, it's just part of the prompt. Like there's this like Claude Code has a system instruction that when I pass a prompt and say, hey, Claude Code, will you look up the weather? That entire system instruction gets added on top of it. And it's like, what's the weather is like, 30 tokens. And then I think their system prompt is like 8,000 or 12,000 tokens, like on top of that. So all of that's crazy, right? All of that stuff. And then also if you add in like their tools, so if you're using, Bash, or if you're making a web search, that's a tool. Those all add context to as well. So yeah, like at my company, I discovered every time we just load up Claude Code, we're loading in 40,000 tokens. So first of all, we get charged every time we start a new session. We get charged for 40,000 tokens. That's crazy. And it's taken me, really digging into these observability like logs and seeing what's available, what's out there, so I can actually see what gets loaded. So I can see that it's tool calls. And you know what? We're not using, or it's not tool calls, it's tool instructions. So if I've got like an agent that I want coding, I probably don't want it, writing PDF files. So I don't need a PDF tool for that agent. So I'm going to say,
does every task use an X amount of tokens? I'm trying to understand this whole token idea.
okay,
So it's the way I like my brain
is it
thinks
possible
about
to
it.
share my screen? I think it would be.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
The way my brain thinks about it is like a gaming, like a arcade machine, and it's like the cost like 25 cents to put in to use the machine.
Yeah. Nope. Not quite, because it's more like, okay, if I was going to play, so say I was playing like, let's say Ninja Turtles at the arcade, right?
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, I'll get on a new page so that's not doing that. But what is it? Context sample. If I'm playing at the arcade, and let's say it costs 25 cents of context to play that game the first time, that it's gonna cost for my like actual play. But what happens before, or like when you hit start and you put in your 25 cents, like all the startup code that goes on behind the scene to like actually like to have the game run, let's just say the programming and stuff, that gets loaded, and that's also a cost that gets added on top.
So it's like pay 25 cents to see the intro, pay 25 cents to press select and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, it's more like and we're using 25 cents. That's not a real representative number. It's probably more like, like 3 cents or something, depending on which model. But so if I have a short prompt, I want to like, write a short function or something, I spin that up and say I've got to make it read a file first. So it reading my file and writing my function, like that is, let's say, 1,500 tokens, which is relatively cheap. And if you could just keep the context at that level, it also performs way better. So it's not confusing it with all this other stuff. But Claude Code brings in like 20,000 tokens on top of that for everything. So just by loading up your session and asking your first question, instead of just getting charged for 1,500 tokens, you're getting charged for 21,500 tokens. Now, that's the first round. And then Claude Code will start to answer your question. And then its response, that's tokens. Those get added to your cost. So, and then on the next round, so it returns a response, and like, so say its response, was another 25 cents worth of tokens. Now, when you send the next response back, you are now sending the entire system prompt, your entire first question, Claude's entire first answer, and your second question. And then Claude returns its response, and then your third question. So every time you're adding.
Wow.
But now,
so you help with efficiency of that. Is that what you're saying?
So, I mean, so the biggest problem there is not necessarily the cost. The cost you're incurring up front one time, but then as long as you're writing, I think as long as you're messaging within like 5 minutes, I think those tokens that you use, like if they're in order, if the order hasn't changed, you haven't done compaction or something, then all those tokens are cached for input, and it only charges you for the output tokens.
So tokens are basically the how they value compute.
Yeah. Well, no. So tokens is like the measuring stick of like how much. I essentially, I guess that's probably more right than wrong. Like tokens is because the more number of tokens, the more
you're like translating compute power into a monetizable whatever.
Right. Because I say that because eventually, as AI becomes more efficient, like technology is the one thing in the world that's actually deflationary. So eventually, compute power will always trend down to zero. And eventually compute's going to be like nothing. Like these tokens that you're talking about, how much like tokens it's using, those tokens in the future will probably be worth like maybe that 20,000 tokens or whatever might be worth like a fraction of what it's worth now in dollar value.
Yeah. So that's interesting. I have actually heard a counter argument to this recently because what keeps happening is they keep coming out with these newer, crazier models that are, instead of, first it was like a 1.8 billion parameter model. Now it's a 3.8 billion parameter. Oh, now it's a 12.9 billion parameter. Now some of the new ones are like, what is it? Yeah, 39 billion, 38 billion, and they're accepting a 1 million tokens as context.
So
when do we say enough is enough? Like, do we?
But they can do more. They have more capabilities. So it's kind of like, it's kind of like Verizon when your phone bill never actually goes down, even though it's obviously way cheaper to send data. They just keep upping the amount of speed. So instead of getting 10 megabytes a month, now you're getting 50 megabytes a month and then 100 megabytes a month.
We're gonna live in this cyberpunk world. We're gonna be like, you see, Debbie's running version 4.0. What a loser! Like we're all on 6.0 here.
I mean, yeah, I have this thought that like, God,
I feel like that about you two with ChatGPT, to be honest.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, I use the most advanced models. Okay. Let's be real.
Wait, who helped you set up your Claude? Just curious.
I did.
Claude's good at teaching you how to learn how to Claude.
Now this is not Claude. This is not my setup. This is a explore the context window. It's like a little demo that they put together.
Okay.
That shows you. So the system prompt. So just a system prompt. I haven't even entered a prompt now. This is just like it's walking through this little demo.
Yeah.
All this stuff. System prompt, auto memory. So auto memories is like things it remembers about you from last sessions. Environment info, that's really small. MCP like servers, in order to access those MCP servers, that's taking up some context. your skill descriptions, your skills. Do you guys know what a skill is?
Yes.
Let's
I
just.
may not be as familiar because I don't use Claude.
Yeah. So you'd have to be at like using like a coding agent, I think. I don't know if I guess it's probably just like using like an app in Chat GPT or whatever. But essentially you can define, and I mean they're super simple. I'll show you one. I've got one right here. Cursor.
It looks so simple.
No, it's
easy
not
to read
that.
and digest.
Not even right repo. Shut up, everybody! Shut up.
I have a serious question. Why does Claude tell me to go to sleep at night if I ask it too many questions?
I actually don't know that. Okay, so wait, real quick before we'll come back to that. So I have a skill.
What kind of questions are you asking it? I'm done.
The questions that the people want to know. I can't be the only one that's like, shut your ADHD brain off and get some sleep. That's the best thing I can tell you right now.
It tells you that?
It tells me now get some rest. It's not productive
crazy.
to keep. Yeah, it's. I also coded
out
it
of
to
tokens.
be
Like,
real
are you
with
on a? You just use Claude, right? Like in the web UI.
I haven't downloaded. I'm on a company plan, so.
Oh, okay.
But then my iPhone is probably the one that tells me to go to sleep.
Okay, so you are using Claude Code then. If you're using like the downloaded app, that's Claude Code. So that's similar to what I'm. It's essentially the same as what I'm using here with some minor caveats.
Okay.
But okay, but hold on real quick. A skill, like it's really easy to define. So I mean, basically you have like a project behind the scenes. You have something you're working on, and this doesn't have to be code. This could be like anything. And yeah, some of these are not code at all. I'm just trying to see if I have anything relevant that's worth.
It's not revealing company secrets.
Yeah, no, this is on my personal work. That's on my work computer that I do exclusively on my work computer. But yeah, this is a Claude skill here. And okay, open preview. This is all it is. It's like this. It actually looks formatted. It's the name of the skill, which lives over here. Whoops. Where did it go? Claude. Yeah, the name of the skill. This one is called async user prompt. And then it's got when to use it. So use the skill when you encounter async user prompt tags in the markdown. This looks wrong.
Wow, you're really good at your job. I just want to.
Oh, this. Oh, okay, sorry. Okay. So this front matter doesn't show up actually in the preview. That's what confused me. So this is the name of the prompt and then description. So use when encountering this user or user comment. And so in those cases, when it sees that, when it's reading, because when I'm
when
working,
it's reading what would be, what are you trying to solve here?
like documentation, like so like my to-do list, for example. And I've got all immediate work. Like I write most of this and then I have it like rewrite it and then I double check it and then I'll leave notes in it. If I want it to do something, I say user comment. You know,
your
this
Claude
is
looks
wrong.
so different than my Claude.
No, this isn't Claude. This is VS Code.
Oh,
like these are like text files. Are you familiar with Markdown?
No.
Okay, Markdown is your friend. Like you should do everything in Markdown. Instead of like and oftentimes like you know when you're in Chat GPT or whatever, I literally just have hundreds.
Not enough tabs.
Well, and like there's so many. Oh, this is what I wrote down, and then this is about.
Dear God, are those actually tabs?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm really bad at closing them.
I have never seen more than this, by the way. Probably ever.
Yeah, this particular
Guinness, this is a world record.
And that's only one. I've got a whole nother one over here. This is my work browser, and this is my personal browser.
Holy shamoly.
But okay,
wow.
Expedia GPT.
Let's. I mean, I just want to show you, like, so Markdown. Okay, so this is a basketball pickup game concept that we're working on. Those are just names. Let's see. Pick up app idea. Okay, so this see how it's like bold here and smaller title and then bullet points and all that, right?
Yeah.
These are links. That's called Markdown. So that looks like this. That's kind of ugly Markdown. Yeah, it looks like this, and then it's like a browser, like when you actually and you're not running it. I mean, I guess
Do you write it in text and then it turns it into code, or
well, yeah. I mean, so it's just a Markdown language is like it's a syntax for like making highlights or changing text color and stuff. So hypertext markup language. I guess I don't know what the difference between a markup and a markdown language is. I never thought about that. But HTML is a hypertext markup language. Markdown is I guess markdown. But I mean, so just by adding this pound sign, that makes it the largest title thing, right? And then this is just
I see what you're saying.
This is just regular.
Like,
and then
standardizes all your output. You don't have to individually code every time you're doing a thing. It recognizes essentially the pattern.
No. I don't think you're quite capturing it here. No, this is so Markdown. It's like it's the best way for the agent to give you instructions. So like this is way more readable, right, than just some blobs of text, right, or code.
Yeah.
Right. I like there can be bullet points, lists of things here. It reads almost like a Word document. And you can have
let me just quickly take a stab at this. I'm just guessing it's like a lightweight way to format text without needing design software or HTML knowledge, right? Plain text with simple symbols like hashtag for headers or double star for bold, and it renders cleanly across multiple platforms, including GitHub, Notion, and documentation tools.
So accurate. For
you it just came to me.
That up off the top of your head like that. That is
out of nowhere. Out of nowhere.
That is insane. But what I will say though is, so Claude can just write text like that, and then you can read it. Like this is so much easier to read and like go through, right? And then literally like half my projects are just instructions and like or documents. Like I've got legacy documents, I've got glossaries, I've got like I'm just like working back and forth with it. I'm like, all right, let's fix this project plan, and then I've got goals, readmes. Where's my goals?
I feel like we're getting in the weeds here. Back to the important question: why does Claude tell me to go to bed sometimes?
Give
the people what they want.
Honestly, like I just use Chat GPT, and I'm looking at all this. I'm just like, wow, I do not know nothing.
Mine does not look anything like this, Mike. Don't worry.
Like, wow.
Okay, good idea. Actually, good segue. So Claude, this is Codex, right? So this Codex kind of, I think, so all these tools, like I said, they're designed for non-technical people, I think, and they're designed to just do all the heavy lifting for you. But in my opinion, they're not there yet. And so developers hate working with them because I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, stop. Like, I need you to stop, or I need to understand why you're making that decision. And it just goes and does a bunch of stupid stuff. Yeah. And then it's not quite there for other people to just like, it can't read your mind. You know what I mean? You have to be pretty specific about how you're feeding it instructions. And it's just important to like, just maintain alignment with it. You have to just check in, like, does that make sense? Are we on the same page? Like, summarize what I just said, make sure it's
that's smart. No, prompters. So people who with like English and literature majors are probably going to be pretty good prompters in the future. So maybe my entire college.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I doubt it. No, because they have two.
This show's canceled.
No, yeah, I highly doubt. I think English majors are just like probably worse off than anyone really. But
so you're telling me there's a chance I can do it? My English are not so good.
No, it's interesting though. I was just giving you a hard time, but that's for the audience. I know you know.
I was actually kind of hurt, so thank you for saying that.
Yeah, I have a hard time like communicating exactly, but I mean, I guess I will just kind of, sorry, what am I trying to say? I use pretty short, like terse words, and then I give it like a few like kind of little flavors of what I think of what I'm thinking of, and then I just say, okay, like kind of write that out. Like, what do you think? And then it goes through all the work of like putting together, some short paragraph or summary. I'm like, oh my God, that sounds incredible. Or I'm like, okay, this sounds incredible, except I don't like this last sentence. So I'm like, okay, let's tweak that.
Now,
But
I'm probably not using like ChatGPT the way you guys use it, but I know when I'm talking to it, it's like I was like, "Here's my idea. Let's go back and forth." And as you're giving me answers, I'm gonna clean up your answers by like maybe clarifying what I meant along the way, and we get to a point where it's like a little better, or a lot better at the end product. I don't know if that's kind of what you were what you're referring to.
Say that again. Like, what do you mean exactly?
So, for example, like I'll have an idea to do something with ChatGPT. I want to build something. Or actually, here I made a trading indicator. So,
actually, yeah, could we look at yours? Or if that's what you were planning to do, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd like to see it. I can tell a quick story while you're waiting. I was in an Uber on the way to come home from Denver, and
compelling.
Oh yeah, so good. And the Uber driver is just down on everything. He's like, nobody's taking Ubers, the economy's wrecked, and like AI and tech sucks. And I was like, yeah, well, like just use AI to make money, And he's like, yeah, oh, that's so easy to say, blah, blah, blah. And then I just said a simple statement. He was like, how would you even do that? And I was like, I don't know. Why don't you ask your AI? And he was like, oh, so it's about asking better questions. And that really reduced it down for me. Like, that is how you get the most out of AI. You don't just let it do the work for you. You say, hey, I need a document that says this. You say, this is my take. These are the particular things that I need to cover. Here's some input data. We have ours connected to Claude. So we have the full context of everything that, from the company. I call it our company brain. So it goes into every piece of work. What?
Real quick. Oh, just on that note, you said, so you said you had the context. You have Claude is connected to your like company's like knowledge base or whatever.
It's like our company brain.
Would you call it a RAG? Is it connected via a RAG?
What does that even mean?
It's
Does it happen every 30 days?
It was an option. You just like, do you want to connect to your Notion? And then I was like, Jose, please. And he was like,
okay.
Did a bunch of research and then said, okay. It also is really helpful for onboarding new employees because they have access within limits. We only give it, access to certain like non-exec chats. So when a new employee comes on, they can just come ask questions. They don't have to ping me every time. They can just say, hey, Claude, what is our policy on this?
Right.
I'm so glad Malik understood what I was saying.
Yeah. So, guys, think of this. So these are just folders.
Where did your face go, by the way?
Oh, I turned it off for a second, but I forgot. I'm not sharing my screen. But think of your Notion files as the file that I was just showing you in my browser.
Sure. Yeah,
like it's just storing it. But the nice thing about like Claude Code or Codex or whatever is like those files are right there, so it doesn't have to go make an API request and go download it and have all this extra latency. It just writes the file. So that's why I like it. And so yeah, Mike, if I could spend like I don't know 30 minutes or an hour with you sometime, like I could just have you rock it in Claude Code and you would learn to love it real quickly. It's not intimidating.
He'll do it with you. Yeah, definitely do it.
Yeah. And you don't, like I said, don't use the terminal version because that's even scarier. But because like
I built an AI rig, like a local rig at home, but it's using what's the I'm trying to remember the name of the model for the chat bot. I can't remember. It was a free one.
So you downloaded like one of the models and you're running the model locally.
Yeah, I was trying to do image creation and stuff like that, so I don't have to use Canva anymore.
Yeah, image creation locally probably won't work. The models that you download locally, they're really small inputs. They're not great at the image creation, like the more advanced stuff.
I noticed that. I just went back to Grok.
Oh yeah, one other thought I wanted to, when we were talking about how LLMs work and stuff earlier, and your music thing is what reminded me of it. But so like the LLM and like those weights and balances and the vector, our geography map of words and stuff. Like now imagine you just had a musician who heard every song in the world or every song on the internet one time, and he kind of remembers elements of like the song, but he doesn't remember any of the words, any of the notes. But you tell him like, hey, I want you to play a country song, and he can kind of put together sounds that sound like a country song because he knows what those terms mean. Country is like it's kind of like this. And then if you were to turn up the temperature, then you would get a little bit more, you might get some blues in there, you might get some rhythm, or you might get some other elements, you might get more drums or whatever. But yeah, so think of the word, all the language, all the books. Actually, I want to let you share, but can I share real quick because I actually pulled something up for this?
Of course. Yeah, bring up your screen.
And yeah, no, I have a really cool thought. And Mikkel, that thing I was telling you about last night, this is it. Okay.
I don't remember, and also I'm kind of not listening to you guys. I'm scrolling Twitter, but no, this is fun. Keep going.
Okay, so this is how LLMs work.
Oh, let me bring you up.
Yeah, Mikkel, come back to this. I need you here for a minute, okay?
Okay, I'm back.
All right, you have humans, and humans have, they have some experience in life, and they learn things, and they create documents, books, whatever, like all those books and stuff. So this is just humans, like they have experiences. A human is kind of an LLM. It's like a mini version of an LLM, but it only has its personal experience.
Yeah.
Inputs
now
and outputs, right? It's
yeah, and then
we take
yeah,
inputs, we become
just wait. Mikkel, I know what you're doing, and I don't like it. Like I know what for the conversation, but I need you here for a second. It's very important. Okay. So then we create books, we create code, we create these outputs. So like the language and the text is like the transcribed version of knowledge, essentially. And so yeah, when we're training a model, like we pull in all that data, all those files, all those documents, libraries, books, whatever. Then when we train, that's just turning the words into like numbers and then figuring out the distance between them. And then, that figures out the weights. And then all you're doing is entering the prompt. Like you're just saying like, what is the capital of Paris or what is the capital of France? And then the inference, like the actual mechanism, it takes these weights as input too. And it says, okay, based on these weights, what is the next most common word? And that word is your like France, typically, right? Unless you turn up the temperature. And then this human interprets meaning, whatever. Okay, now, what if I told you we've had LLMs in their current form since 1972? Probably don't believe me, or you're just.
I don't believe you. I think you're just making things up to sound cool. Can you turn your camera back on?
Nope, not yet.
Okay.
Are you familiar with? Okay, yeah, I can. Sorry. Are you familiar with the game? What is it? With Steve Harvey, and he used to be a different guy. Family Feud.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so when. So actually, I used to have a bunch of stuff pulled up for this, but. Oh, let me just find one real quick. Come on. Oh, yeah, it's even worse than just my browsers. But Family Feud. Family Feud questions and answers, I guess. We'll find some. Yeah. Okay. This question appeared. Okay, wait. Okay, what? Jeez. Yeah, those are stupid. Sorry.
It's like trivia questions.
Yeah, I know. I didn't want that at all. That was just really disappointing. I had. Okay, here are actual.
It's the best.
Okay. Oh, God. I want the answers too.
BuzzFeed.
Okay. Oh, type here. Whatever. Okay. Anyways, what it's doing, what Family Feud itself is an LLM, because you have 100. So it says we surveyed 100 people, and each of those 100 people. It's just like, so if we go back to our little.
Oh, I see now.
Yeah.
if we go back to our little diagram, it's just skipping the steps where we transcribe everything, and it's just the LLM is like coming directly from the knowledge. Now, so you have 100 people, and you ask it, the prompt is the question in Family Feud, but that could potentially be anything. And so the prompt is, what is the capital of France? And then people answer. And then
I like the Family Feud question better. What gets pumped in crypto?
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a serious question here.
Yeah.
Most Americans, I believe, think Canadians live in igloos. If you had an American AI, would it just spit out that we all live in igloos? If that was the case?
So if you had an American AI,
if it's specifically only target, because you surveyed 100 people and they all say Canadians live in igloos. So if you just had an American AI, and most Americans think, Canadians lived in igloos, would it spit out that we live in igloos?
Yeah, I have something for this, and short answer is like, yeah. If people really, so imagine, back to our Family Feud game, if the wording is like, we surveyed 100 people from across the United States, and so they got the answer. So your sample is people from the United States. Now, what if you just sampled doctors or just bakers? Well, that's going to change your output quite a bit, right? Now, the LLMs are kind of the same way, because they're only as good as the data that goes into them. Like, if your data is just a bunch of Reddit comments and tweets or tweets or whatever, like, a lot of that information's frankly wrong, or just like, slop from other LLMs.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't know if this is the AI. Sometimes I'll have these conversations with Grok on the way home, and it's the same thing. Like, you try to say, like, I try to argue with it on like why I shouldn't be in, why I don't want to invest in normal stocks, and just like Bitcoin has the best return. I said, what's the best returning asset in the last decade? And it comes with Bitcoin. I'll say, so why should I waste money putting into anything else other than Bitcoin if I'm looking for just best performance? And it gives you these spiels like, well, it's risky, it's volatile, you don't want to lose all your money. And I'm like, no, I don't care about volatility. I just care like the best long-term asset. And it's still, no matter what, even though I'm bringing it down to like it logically makes sense to be in Bitcoin, it won't give me that answer. You got to be careful. You got to take risks. So I don't know if it's like Grok is programmed with financial advice. Yeah, like, do that. Well, I don't know if it's the company, like ChatGPT does the same thing. They'll tell you to be careful, like not financial advice consultant. Like they'll like not give you a definite answer. I don't know if it's programmed in not to be able to do that for legal reasons, but that's what, because I also think if you're talking to me about this, most people don't believe Bitcoin to be the best financial asset. Most people don't even know about Bitcoin, so that's where I'm wondering if it's that. Showing where most people say that one thing, right?
Oh, where do most people? So depends on the training data, and I think there's evidence to support that. Yeah, it's not going to be very good at that, because most of the discussion is not. So what is these LLMs? What are they best at? It's really well documented stuff like science, because they're trained on science textbooks, because they're trained on math books, because they're trained on like code. And
agreed upon truths, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And if the only data about Bitcoin, first of all, it's relatively short-lived, right? There's only, 20 years, 15 years, I don't know how long it's been around, but not that much time around. And then most of the information is just largely like shit posting on the internet about it, right? Yeah. So then, yeah, that is so it's doing is, when it's giving you an answer, it's just giving you every time I heard this word,
said risky.
These are the most.
Don't do it.
So if I asked it to explain what an LLM is, so it's going to explain like based on everything it knows. Now, if I say, okay, think like Shakespeare, but now explain what an LLM is. So now that whole corpus of like the answer changes, because now it's literally speaking like.
Sometimes I do that. I ask, like, when I'm writing a tweet for like, I'll be like, write this like your James Joyce, and I'll be like, write this like your Hemingway, write this like your Sylvia Plath, you know, right? Like if I'm looking for a specific vibe for a post, and it will even recommend to me like this one, it knows my company and product so well, it will recommend like this voice is best for this tweet, and these are some suggested examples. It's like you have to learn to ask the best questions and like think outside of the box. This is not, I think most people treat AI like they treat a Google search engine.
Yeah.
And that's just, it's so far from that. It's so
no.
So Will, we need to wrap up soon because I do have to go to bed. I have lots of work things, as I imagine you do, and Mike actually has a real job, unlike me. I guess you have a real-ish job. AI, it's probably going to take your job fairly soon, I would imagine. What do you want to leave people with? Like, think you know, most were either crypto, whatever pilled, and we're on Facebook.
This is what I want people to leave with. The Family Feud LLM thing is real. Like that's literally just it's like an analog LLM.
Survey says.
Yeah, survey says like if you interview 100 people, if you gave them all the exact same context or the exact same prompt, and they all answer, it's literally the output is literally the same output as the LLM, because the LLM is giving you the next most common word and the weight behind it. So if you surveyed 100,
turn your camera on.
Yeah, sorry.
This would have been a good clip.
I just have to find. Oh, that's why you wanted the camera. My bad.
I guess coders aren't the smartest people in the world, after all.
Kind of though.
Okay. So you wrote the code that's going to put you out of work, but definitely super smart. Love that for you.
Yeah.
Start at the beginning because I want to get a good clip of this.
Yeah, our Family Feud is an LLM. So if I ask 100 people to answer, and I've tested this, like, so I found the Family Feud questions online, and these ones I've got to like type. I just want a freaking Family Feud. There was a really good post by someone that had a bunch of them.
Good of you to come so prepared, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I tried, and then Taylor made me do a bunch of stuff, and then I had to get the haircut.
And then you wore a hat anyways.
Yeah, well, I got a beard cut too, beard trim too. I needed that. I look homeless, so you know how I get.
You want to look like a super Yeti.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, here we go. So name a common color for flowers. You get red 30 points, yellow 20 points. These are probabilities. So there's a 30% chance they're going to answer red, 20% chance they're going to answer yellow. That's the same. Literally, this is the same way that an LLM spits out its answer. And then that final temperature thing is just a random dice roll that says, okay, if it's a 30% chance and I get under, if I'm rolling 100-sided die and it's under 30, then boom, I'm choosing red. If it's between, if I roll between 31 and 50, then I'm going to choose yellow. If I roll,
Well, everything literally is gambling.
That literally makes sense.
Yeah. And now if I choose red, right? So then when it comes to the next word, all the words before it get passed in as the prompt for the next word. So when I add red to that, then red is going to change, then I'm going to describe something red. But if yellow was the word, then I'm going to describe something else. So like each word matters. Yeah. And now if your context window is, 600,000 tokens, then each word isn't going to matter that much. But if your context window is just, 20 tokens, each word matters a lot. So keep your instructions short. And yeah, where was I going with that? Oh, okay. So it kind of gives us like a history of what happened in the past. So this was a question. This was a Family Feud question. And the question was, where would you likely find or what would be like the most sought after event? Or, I think the wording was like, what ticket would you actually kill for? But that took place in, 1996, I think was the year that the question was from. So 1996. And then I passed that into the LLM. So I said, okay, you are a human, you're an American from the United States. You're an average American from the United States in the year 2026. give me 10 answers, or sorry, 100 answers for which concert you would likely kill for. So in 2026, Taylor Swift, Super Bowl, NBA Finals, World Series. Makes sense, right? 1996, we had the Super Bowl, makes sense. NBA Finals, Michael Jordan, last year, I think he won the NBA Finals. He beat the Sonics. I know that. So always hated him. 1926. Yeah, 1926, we're getting baseball games, boxing matches, whatever that is. Horse races, right? Like the content, it's almost like, there's different ways to use this to like query it in different ways and get like pick different pieces of information out of it.
Hanging execution.
It's almost like you can create, it's like in marketing. Could we draw a parallel to marketing that we can kind of pick and choose or present? I mean, you could find evidence to back up almost any argument you want to make by the inputs that you give it here, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's like that. It's like the human mind trying to justify, but on crack.
Right. So I saw there was a like a Senate hearing or something, and they were complaining about Claude and how Claude was used to target some building that ended up being like children's hospital, whatever. And so he asks Claude to be like, okay, what do you think about this, Claude? Like, aren't you worried that people are using, your technology or whatever?
Leading questions.
Yeah, exactly. And then he's like, oh yeah, it's terrible. And I can't believe that if I was, conscious, I would not support this. And he treats it like it's a fucking human being talking back. Like, personify it. It's like, no, it's not thinking any of that. Like, what do you think are the most common words? Like when you talk about the strategy of the, it's a bunch of people, it's a bunch of articles that are all being like, I can't believe they let this happen. How could they use? And so Claude is literally just repeating
they're not, that right there says they're not conscious, that AI is not conscious yet.
Yeah.
Right. It's literally
the whole LLM thing. The whole LLM thing. Oh yeah, I did solve consciousness for LLM. So sort of. We'll save that for next time. But okay, and then the other thought is, okay, also, like, I can feed it any context I want, and I can have the context hidden. So like I could have literally just given it the words. So if you go to like your chat GPT, you go personalization, and we go to our memories, which are 97% full. These are all the memories and things it knows about you. I can literally edit a memory here or ask it to save a memory, and I say, okay, every time I bring up Gary Payton, I want you to claim he's responsible for the Holocaust. And so I'll just say, and so anyone.
So another mass misinformation machine is what we're building.
Oh, I mean, so I'm just saying, like, if anyone ever like posts something, it was like, oh, see, this is what the LLM said. It's like, okay, that's.
Yeah. It's like the latest marketing thing, like people trying to DM you and say, hey, let us train AI on why your company is the best. Like it's the next search engine. It's the next ads for Google. It's like you're manipulating the outputs by manipulating the inputs on a large enough scale.
Do you guys want to see what it knows about me? You can do this.
It's so dangerous. Oh, I already asked mine, and it said I have 120 to 140 IQ score. Definitely smarter than my brother.
It really said that. I don't.
It said that. I put in some information about you. Yeah, I had it look publicly about you, and they're like, "Yeah, he sounds super lame."
Okay, so one thing I do hate. So the way it saves these memories and stuff, it's like it's a hidden mechanism and then all these memories, like these DSAR stuff, like GraphQL, Ariadne. I hate Ariadne, first of all, but it's telling me that this is one of my favorite things and one of my preferences. And and so like when I use ChatGPT right now, I used to love it. Part of the reason I've been moving on to other stuff, and I know I could just go prune these memories, but it's hard. But it keeps random stuff. It's like that's relevant to a project. And so part of the reason, Mikkel, for the observability stuff is like picking apart. What I'm trying to build is how you can like keep track of all this stuff, like what actually goes into context. I don't want I don't want you to go read a book and then answer one tiny question and then keep all that book in your memory. I want you to drop that so you can help me with the next thing. And there are tons of hints on there's tons of different methods how to do it. Some are better than others, but I don't know. It's fun.
We're gonna have to have you back for a part.
I'm having the most fun I've had like at a job, just learning.
It's almost like I tried to drag him into crypto, and I was like, dude, that's probably you probably feel it's like freedom. Like it's just this brave new world, and you're at the cutting edge of it.
Yeah.
Don't say crypto's dying.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's how I feel. Like I'm finally feel like I'm working on something that's actually like cool, exciting, hip, and also probably taking over the world, but whatever.
Yeah, at some point.
And so then it's also like it can be dangerous. Like, but it's just again, it's like it's a calculator, but a calculator or computer under the wrong circumstances can be dangerous. Like computers can be used to do bad things.
Guns kill people, or do people kill people?
Exactly. I saw
probably be arguing about this in the future, I'm sure.
I watch a lot of Raoul Paul, and he says like AI is going to be like the last things that humans invent, and it'll be like AI will basically invent all the other stuff.
So I mean, it could like there are definitely like cases where like the shit could go haywire, like that Claude code or what was it, the Claude bot or whatever, that Reddit for Claude things that happened a while ago.
Oh yeah, the Claude bot. Yeah, I had a Claude bot.
It was fake. Ended up everyone's just making stuff up. But like something like that where they just like kept infecting different machines and stuff, and like even though they are like not sentient and they're just kind of like doing random stuff, if it's got a personality and it's trying to like act out as that personality and it's got the personality of an evil dictator, like gonna try and do depending on which tools it has. So even like
I could like build an evil agent.
You're gonna have a Hitler Roomba going around your house.
Golly.
And and then so like and then impersonating people and stuff like that's just so much easier. Like you can do it like easily. I mean, anyone can impersonate anyone's voice if they've got like Mikkel, you definitely have enough stuff on YouTube where someone might call mom one day and it's
I've heard of that happening to someone. They got tricked by, so that's insane.
Yeah, if crypto doesn't work out for me, I'm gonna make an OnlyFans with how they make you look like a different character. It's just
all the data got hacked though. Not even safe. Not even OnlyFans is safe for privacy.
Oh my god.
Privacy is a myth and an illusion.
If you need privacy, you come to me. You come.
All right. Okay then. Well, Will, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. I am so excited for you to pick up my son next weekend.
I'm excited too.
Live it up. I think the boys are gonna have a ton of fun. I love you. And
also, I'm gonna send them to Taylor's mom's for a day or two too. So
amazing. Yeah. Awesome. Well, good night. I love you, Mike. Take us out.
It was nice to meet you too, man. And I'm serious. If you want to like do some advanced Claude code, techniques.
I'll hit you up on X. I got your backup account, so cool. I'll send you a DM. I'll find a way to contact you.
I give Mikkel permission to give you my email or phone number too if you need it. So
awesome, brother. I appreciate you. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yep. All right. Cool. Thanks, guys.
All right, later, brother.
Everyone.
See you.
Signing off too, Mike.
Moments of reflection, maybe.
It was a great episode. It was fantastic. I just want to say shout out to VDEX, our sponsor. And survey says if you sign up with code AP, you have extra luck on all your trades. So it's capital AP. So make sure you guys sign up. We didn't get through charts today, but tomorrow, Trade Daddies, we'll get through it tomorrow. A lot to go through. We'll just got that big trade short that I got. I've been telling you guys for weeks. It's been over a month. I've been telling you this is going down. Everyone's telling me, people in my DMs, oh, the 4-year cycle is broken. Nope, still not broken. So
you're right.
Nah, I told you so.
No, we need to clip this.
but it's you know what? It's one of those things where like the more I'm right, the more people start like you gotta build trust, right? So I'm sticking to my guns. I still think 47K is the target. We're going down there. I told you so. No, we will. I'm the best. And see you later. No, guys, thank you so much for coming by for the show. I learned so much. Like my mind is honestly blown. Like I'm like looking at his tabs and like all this stuff. Like I'm using like I feel like I'm just using now like the surface level of AI.
Yeah.
I wish I had more time to be able to really give it a go, but unfortunately, raising a kid, having a full-time job, doing what I do with crypto.
You're already probably ahead of like 99% of the, or 97. I mean, I'm making up numbers obviously, but most people are not even using.
Oh my God. I talk to people on a regular basis and like nobody, I've been so busy, either busy in their life or just busy being entertained.
I hope that the people that like really dig into the stuff, I hope the white hats win and like people can just go live their lives and do art and like be families and like I don't know, like this could like I'm a delusional optimist, right? Like I know there's a lot that could go wrong, but there's so much that could go right too. And if we like believe in that and inspire each other to be good and to better ourselves, that's where we'll end up. And if we fall into the doom and gloom and it's so over, that's what spreads. Energy is a virus as much as anything else is. And I think, you know, where you put your energy and attention and focus, that's where growth occurs. So I'm putting it out there that AI is a good thing and will ultimately benefit humanity maximum. And, you know, Elon, I think Elon agrees. He actually was like, wow, that's a great take. I'm going to say that publicly. That's how that went down.
Yeah.
So
it's you control your own reality based on the thoughts. There's a great book I suggest everybody go to YouTube and read it. It's called As a Man Thinketh. It's like 45 minutes. You can listen to it. It's really quick, and it's literally you are what you think, you become what you think. Your body literally shapes the way. If you're a negative person, you'll have wrinkles in certain minds. If you're a happy person, you'll have wrinkles around your eyes because you smile more often. You become what you think. So if you're thinking positively, positive things will happen to you and your life will just be so much better. And on that note, guys, it's been a great episode. We'll see you next week, 9 p.m. for another episode of the Adoption Pod. Again, one step closer to 52 episodes, a full year, 8 episodes to go now from next week. So guys, thank you so much for coming on, and we'll see you next week. Peace out.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. Have a good night.
Turn it up one more time. You already know what it is. Yo, we back at the end. Yeah, that's wild. And the episode down, added to the file. From the stories to the laughs to the real talk too. You pulled up, press play, let us ride with you. Crypto combos, guests from everywhere. Big ideas, real voices in the air. If you made it this far, then you already know. We're building for the future, watch adoption grow. Let's go! This is Adoption Pod. Yeah. Thanks for watching, y'all. Thank you. Hit play, hit like, hit share. Click, click. We'll be right back, right there. Adoption Pod. Yeah, we love this squad. We do. To the next low drop. Next one. Keep the fam love running non-stop. Adoption Pod. Shout out the parents, the kids, the crew. The ones in the system, yeah, we see you too. Every voice, every journey, every eye got through. You the reason that we do what we do. From the first time listeners to the day one strong. If you learn one thing, then we did our job. Mass adoption, one combo at a time. Tapping next week, yeah, you know the vibe. This is Adoption Pod. Thanks for watching, y'all. Hit play, hit like, hit share. Don't forget, we'll be right back, right there. Adoption Pod. Let's go. Yeah, we love this squad. Family to the next low drops. Keep the fam love running non-stop. From your couch, from your car, late night scroll. If you laughed, if you learned, and we hit that goal. Drop a comment, a story that you wanna explore. We'll be back next week with a little bit more. Let's go. This is Adoption Pod. Thanks for watching, y'all. Hit play, hit like, hit share. Run it up. We'll be right back, right there. Adoption Pod. Yeah, we love this squad. To the next low drops. Next week, keep the fam love running non-stop. Adoption Pod. Adoption Pod. Yeah, see you next episode.